Hey everybody, Mrs. Bianchi. We're looking at, I forget what question number this is, but I want to say it's number 6. Ryan delivers flowers to 2 customers. He drives for 12 minutes at an average speed of 40 miles per hour to reach his first customer. He then drives for 15 minutes at an average speed of 50 miles per hour to reach his second customer. During the 27 minutes of driving time, how many total miles does Ryan drive? So there's a lot going on here, and you really have to read it a lot to many times to figure out what's going on. But I want to start by talking about this 27 minutes because some people don't really understand what's going on with that. So if we were to add the 12 minutes that he's driving at I'm going to call this the slower rate, and the 15 minutes that he was driving at, we'll call this the faster rate, the 50 miles per hour, that adds up to be the 27 minutes that they're talking about for total travel time. But really, what's the reality of what we really need to figure out? We need to write this, which is one of the things given in the statement, right? I'm pulling that right from here. We're going 40 miles per hour. We would want to write that as a ratio. Now, the problem that we have is that they're talking about minutes here. So I propose that let's rethink this per hour, meaning 1 hour. That's equal to 60 minutes. So in our ratios, instead of writing this as 60 miles, putting or I'm sorry, 40 it says. Instead of putting it as 40 miles and then having this as being hour, let's rethink this per hour as 60 minutes. And why are we doing that? It's because this is in minutes. If this was in hours too, then that we didn't have a problem. But because this is in minutes, we need to rethink this as 60 minutes. So hopefully everybody understands what I'm saying there. Now the question is, where does the 12 go in the proportion? Well, it goes on the bottom because the bottom is talking about minutes. So let's put the 12 here, and we're solving for miles. Now in this case, these numbers are compatible. There is something you can do to the 60 to get the 12, and what's that something? It's divide by 5. So that means we can just take the 40 and divide it by 5 to get how many miles we're going at this speed, because remember, we're doing that for 12 minutes. So if we do 40 divided by 5, in this case, we're going to get the 8 miles. All right, so then the next trip, we're going a little faster now. We're going 50 miles per hour. Now again, we're not going to write that as 50 over 1. What we'll do instead is we're going to rethink this per hour. That's 60 minutes. We're rethinking that as 60 minutes. So we're going to write that as 60 minutes here. That's equal to 1 hour. Super important that you understand that. Now we have to put the number 15 in this proportion. And where does it go? It's going to go on the bottom because the bottom is talking about minutes and we're trying to figure out how many miles. All right, now again, this is compatible. 60 divided by something, excuse me, I have to cough, does equal 15. And what's the something? It's divided by 4. So that means we can take the 50 and divide it by 4, and that should give us the answer. Now, the problem is that it's not going to be a whole number. It's not going to work out evenly. So that does require that we need to do the algorithm for that. So we're doing 50 divided by 4. 50 divided by 4. Now, it's not going to work out evenly, so we would want to put on a decimal and a 0. We're not changing the value. We're just saying we don't have any tenths. And let's proceed. 4 goes into 5 once. We have the 1 left over. Bring down the 0. 4 goes into that twice. Subtract. 4 times 2 gives us 8. Subtract, and we get the 2. Bring down the 0 that we had to know to add, and it will terminate. 4 does go into 20 5 times. And it works out evenly. All right, so we know that up here that we got m equals 12 and a half or 12 and 5/10 miles is our answer there. Now we're not finished yet because remember the question is asking, if we read it again, during the 27 minutes, so 12 of them being at this rate, 15 being at this rate, so remember these two numbers, the 12 and the 15 adds up to be that 27. They want to know during that time, How many total miles does Ryan drive? So we have the 8 miles from his first rate. Let's rethink that as 8 and 0/10, plus the 12 and 5/10 miles from when he was driving a little faster, hopefully not disobeying any kind of laws. So finish up by adding these two purple numbers together, and then you'll have your final answer.